All right, so today is May the 4th, the 4th. And we, as usual, we start with our opening prayer, and Maria will do it for us today. So Maria, I'm gonna play this song. So you guys let me know if you can hear the song, and then Maria will say the prayer. Can you hear?
Yes, very well. God, our Father, Jesus, our older brother, we ask for your blessing to continue our journey in this life. Always inspired by our spiritual guides who represent your presence in our lives. We thank all our ancestors who, with their efforts, were able to provide us with the physical life and emotional support necessary to be here today. We are grateful for the knowledge we have been able to develop about the spiritual truths that help us so much in our daily challenges. Bless our families, our jobs, and now who cross our paths. May we bring to all of them the presence of God, who remains in us and in each one of humanity. Thank you for all in our lives. Give us in your peace. So be it.
And so be it. In this moment, we also ask protection not only for each one of us, our family members, our relatives, but also all those ones in need, the ones suffering because of natural disasters, because of war, or because the greatest disaster of all, which is human selfishness. So many people suffering because of hungry, no job, no emotion, no friendship, no love. So we ask God, our guide spirits, the higher beings, everyone that is able to work and be of service. We ask them to collect our vibration, the best we can offer with our energies, and take that to all of those in need, giving them a little bit of hope, a little bit of support, and reassure to them that no matter how difficult this moment is, one thing is sure, it will pass and better days will come. So please, God, stay with them, protect, support, and guide them for your glory and purpose. And so be it. Okay. So, guys, yesterday I was after our vibration, I was just as a continuation bringing a story for today, food for thoughts. I was talking to this friend of mine. Her name is Graça, and so Carol met her, and Gloria as well. And then she was telling me that she was struggling because she didn't believe she has faith. She was not sure about faith. And so she was asking, and she prayed, she did a prayer, and she was asking, for an answer, what faith is. And this morning, she called me immediately, early in the morning, to tell me about that. As she was in the kitchen preparing the breakfast, she heard this sound in her window. It was a little bird. And this little bird just, smashed into her window. And I guess the little thing fainted, just, was not. By the time she got there and she saw this little bird lying on the floor and not moving, so she thought that it was dead, broke his neck or something, and then he was dead. So she took the bird, and she was in a online classes about, they were studying one of the parables from Jesus, which I don't believe in coincidence. And the study of today was exactly about the mustard seed. Remember, last night she was asked about what is faith. So this happened right before the classes. So she put the, she was wearing this hooded jacket. So she was holding the little bird here and keeping him warm. He was not moving. And she was just praying and listening to the class and praying for the bird recovery. And the class ended, and then she was fully dedicated to the bird, and then she was praying, and after a minute after she finished, the little bird opened the eye, and was moving, and all of a sudden it started climbing in her clothes, and then it was right there, it was like, trying to I don't know, seeking protection, a place to hide or something. So she was crying and telling me, Anna, I think I got my answer today. Because I saw this little thing so vulnerable, and I thought it was dead. And during my whole class, I was praying for Jesus for this little thing, so, so loving and so vulnerable, so fragile. She was praying for the little bird to recover, and it did. So, and it was seeking protection, in her, and it was close to her, and it was not afraid of her. So I was telling her, you see, this is exactly your answer, because really, look what happened to you, through your window. And I was telling her, faith, it is this ability to see the world through the eyes of the soul. What is a window if not eyes for the soul? So, and because there is in our soul, then those eyes, the soul's eyes, will not be influenced by any fear or any doubt. So that's what faith is about. So it is when you see the world and not you doubt not, because you know no matter what, no matter difficult time or challenges, it will come out very well. And then she said something that I said, oh, this is so beautiful. I'm going to share with the group. She said, Anna, all of Tarsus, I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. So today, then she said, today I know that I do have faith. What I need to, and I got my answer. I do have faith. What I need to work out is I need to work on my fears. I need to work on the doubts, because that's what really, is giving me the challenges in my daily life. It's not my faith. I do have faith, but I need to learn how to connect to my soul more often. So it was so nice. Leda, please.
We used to think that faith has nothing to do with reason, but Kardec changed this idea, because he connected science and faith. So he said that faith, the real faith, is the one that connects people with reason face to face. So you may not see the unseen, you may not know everything, but you know how things work, and you know how the universe works, and your reason understands that there is a God that takes care of you. And then maybe you don't know the details of the engineering on how things are working, but you know who is taking care of it, and you know that he has a plan, like Christians used to say, right? So
Yeah.
this is the faith that is connected with reason that Kardec tries to teach us, right?
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. So it is nice to know there is a boss, and the boss will never leave us unattended. Right? So I love that. Guys, just something, to say that next Saturday there will not be a meeting. I'll be in Brazil. I don't think I will be able to connect. I will visit my mom for Mother's Day. I hope nobody see it. Is it right? I hope nobody in the family sees this. But it's I'll be there. So no meeting next Saturday. And okay, so here we are working on the book number 1, first causes. So we passed knowledge on the first principle of things, spirit and matter, property of matter, universal space is the next one. And since we are talking about creation of a spirit, etc., I thought it was a good thing to refresh this slide, to refresh our mind about this slide that we shared when we were talking about mechanics of mediumship. And then I remember that we put together this, okay, this is not precise, but it's an attempt to show, how the creation is somehow described in Allan Kardec books. So there is a God up there and they create in the process of creation. So he created the smart element and the material basic element. And then from there, then we have two different paths. So we see from this end of a year smart element, eventually after billions of years, then this smart element will acquire spiritual essence, and then through billions and billions of years, then one day this spiritual essence will become a true spirit. But evidently, as a spirit, and according to the book, we need to the help of something else, so we can act on the universe, on the physical or dimension anyway. So we need the help of the perispirit, and the perispirit is nothing but a combination of universal cosmic fluid. And the universal cosmic fluid is actually another type of combination, and whatever that we will never, I don't think we'll know, and not in this lifetime, what those combinations are. But we can have a good idea how those things happen, because we know all the elements that we find in nature, right? So we have all the iron, chlorine, oxygen, helium, etc. So we see all those atoms, and we can tell, depending on how you rearrange, you combine those atoms together, so then you have a completely different matter or substance or product, whatever. So it's going to be the same with the universal cosmic fluid, because the universal cosmic fluid by itself is made of this material basic element. And the universal cosmic fluid is also responsible to form one, just to mention the three means, media created by universal cosmic fluid. It is responsible to create the perispirit, vital fluid, and raw matter. So the combination of raw matter and vital fluid, then we see the animated matter, and then flesh and bones, and etc. So it is a very good way to put, more or less, so we can picture. I understand things when I see a picture in front of me. I don't know, perhaps I'm too dumb to just learn, using words, but I have to see pictures. Anyway, so another nice thing to say is, that's what we try to understand, with all those readings and things that we do, and knowing that we can actually interchange experiences between this dimension, the physical dimension, and the spiritual dimension. So that's what we are trying to do when we kind of understand, okay, so we are humans, but humans is a combination between the flesh and bones and the spirit and the perispirit and the vital fluid. So it is a combination of all this. Then we can call, okay, so this is us, and that's how we can act, or do something with the rest of all the matters in the universe, any object or something. So just to name, we try to explain the universe, but in reality our understanding is so limited, because here it is a very nice thing. This is the same same graphic, same schematic we just saw, but I just rearranged in a different way to say that this, out of the entire diagram, only these 3 boxes, they are the aspects that we can actually measure, sense, monitor using modern science. So we study and can measure raw matter, animated matter, human beings. But everything else, we have no idea. This is modern science, but everything else, we are still tiptoeing. We can have just we may have perhaps a very limited idea. We are at the beginning of the comprehension of what exactly all those little boxes mean, and what are those universal cosmic fluid is made of, what is exactly a smart element, so we are just now we are trying to understand what those elements mean. And by the way, those elements, they are in Allan Kardec's codification, and that's what all those books, that's what Allan Kardec was trying to picture for us, trying to explain a little bit in a very high level what those elements are and how they connect to us. So and remember that we also talk about, because we have a perispirit, and because the perispirit is using the universal cosmic fluid and vital fluid, and because this perispirit is able to manipulate the universal cosmic fluid, so that's why you can see over here, medium, she's in a deep sleep, and over here we see this ectoplasm that is actually being, how can I lit up? She's donating, or she's, I don't
She's
know.
expelling it.
Yeah,
Right?
expelling it. But she does that with the help of the spirits present to that meeting, because they
Yeah.
are manipulating this material that comes from the medium, and then the spirits present in the meeting, so they manipulate, and then they create this
And you should be very careful with that, because this ectoplasm may harm the medium if you touch it, if you break the trance suddenly. So there was a medium in England once. I don't remember her name. Louise always tells this story, that this medium was the mediumistic meeting was suddenly interrupted, and she died.
Yeah.
So we have to be very careful, we should have the best environment for that kind of meeting.
Yeah, because although this is subtle, very subtle, but it still matter. And it is like you have, I don't know, take a very high level idea. It is like you take a liver or a lung from this person, and you are manipulating using that liver or lung outside of the person, and all of a sudden you try to get it back. It doesn't happen that way. It cannot be that way. The other thing is, like Leda was saying, if you touch it, no, you will contaminate. It is like, any other organ, you don't want to contaminate. That's why the doctors, they take all the precautions as they do the surgery. Try not to contaminate or, aggravate even more the condition.
Vlad is saying in the chat
Mhm.
that there was a medium called Fábio Machado who lost a leg.
Ouch.
But I don't understand, Vlad. He lost it, but it was reconstructed. Can you tell us?
Vou falar em português. Chegou a ser reconstruído durante a reunião. Chegou a entrar um faixa de luz por descuido durante a reunião e atingiu a perna dele, atingiu o ectoplasma, né? Aí ele ficou sem a perna, aí deu um trabalhão danado para a espiritualidade reconstruir, foi reconstruída na mesma reunião, mas demorou horas e horas. Esse relato tem nos dois livros, inclusive esse livro aí que a Ana fez as fotos, né? Materializações Luminosas, Leis Cósmicas em Ação, e Materializações Luminosas, Relato do Delegado de Polícia, que é do Ranieri.
Mhm.
Do you want to translate, Anna?
Yeah. Yeah, I can translate. So he was saying that the meeting or he's talking about, it is actually in this book from where I took those pictures from, and it says that this medium, he was in a deep trance, and the ectoplasm was, outside of him, because remember, some of those meetings are so serious that sometimes they take so much material from the physical body of the medium that a portion of the body of the medium's body disappeared. In this case, it was a leg of that medium. But something happened during the meeting. It was in a very dark place, but something happened that a spark of light came in, and then it took the spirits a long time to reconstruct the medium's leg again. And it was very, very hard to recollect all the ectoplasm back and reconstruct the leg again because of a spark of light that came into the room, the dark room. So yeah, so like we are saying here, it's the same. So the medium is in trance, is in very deep sleep, and then we can see ectoplasm from the ear, nose. So, and you see a lot of, so this is Chico Xavier, the medium Chico Xavier, and this is the medium, the same guy over here. His name was Peixotinho, famous medium. And over here is the ectoplasm out of his mouth. And this is the spirit being materialized right here, besides Chico Xavier. So this is actually a picture that several people who doesn't believe in materialization or spirits, when they saw those pictures, they said, okay, so Chico was there, then I believe now. Back in the days when we didn't know how to forge a picture, right? So today it's so easy to Photoshop and do something, but it was not the case because back in the day we didn't know how to do this. And over here we can see the same medium, the ectoplasm, and over here the spirit is able to reconstruct its face exactly how he was when he was alive. So Very interesting. So all of that is the is the evidently ectoplasm, but also vital fluid, which is made of universal cosmic fluid, and it is the type of matter that the spirits can actually use and manipulate and do things, including materialization. Gloria, please.
The weekend after we went to Florida,
So,
I went to a seance in New Orleans, and it was Scott Milligan. And just a couple of things that were very interesting. Evidently, like you said, light adversely affects the ectoplasm, either the production of it or the manipulation of it. The light is detrimental. So the room had to be completely dark. This was my first seance. But it was explained to us afterwards, because some amazing things happened in the seance, that the ectoplasm came out of Scott and formed a voice box over on one side, over his shoulder. And
Yeah,
the daughter, like that, and the daughter of one of the people in the seance, who's a very active, I think, in helping parents heal, her daughter. So this little girl came through and talked to her mother, and it was so beautiful to hear this little girl's voice. And that was from Scott Plasm. And so he was used for that purpose. We were all in tears. It was just beautiful. But there was something else that was explained to us, a couple of things, that every seance, this is Scott Milligan, every seance is an opportunity for spirit to, and of course it would be different with every medium, because I'm sure there's a difference in everybody's ectoplasm. You know, we're all unique creations. And so every seance is an opportunity for spirit to experiment with what works and what doesn't work. And so every seance is unique in that spirit may be trying something they've tried before to improve on the communication, or trying something really new. And so we were told they didn't know, you never know what to expect. And when it was over, we were all so moved by what had happened in the room that a couple of people, Scott was, when the lights came on, and he had been completely turned around in his chair, so that he was facing the wall, a heavy chair that he was tied into. The chair had been turned around and moved away from the wall. Wow. So that, he'd been, and I was sitting next to a medium who said, this is a big improvement on what they used to do to him. They used to flip him over and all kinds of things, because they were learning together. Yes. And it didn't go real well sometimes. And some of the people were so excited that when Scott came to and he kind of staggered out of the room, they were applauding, and then they shut it down right away. They said, no, that noise vibration can actually interfere with the reintegration of the ectoplasm back into the organs. Yes. So we were learning, and it's a very delicate thing that spirit is in one of those seances, and it's just amazing. Yeah.
And I love this. Thank you for sharing, because I love the consistency. You see, this happened in Louisiana and recently, but see, it is the same type of advices that we hear when in Brazil they do those kind of meetings as well. So
supposedly the instructions come from spirit.
Exactly. And the funny thing is, because they are facilitating, because that's what it is, right? We think that we're doing something, but in fact, they are facilitating the whole thing. We think that they will know everything, that they will have, but in reality, yes, you're right. So they are trying new techniques and how to deal with those techniques and how to deal with all the material, because remember, depending on the vibration of the group, and the group will never be the same, right? Because
Right.
every night is different group of people. So the vibration will never be the same. We are so unique. We vibrate in different levels. So imagine those spirits, and they have to do business. And you know, do the experiment. And I think it's so amazing. It's so nice, you know. It's amazes me all the time. Thank you for sharing. Let me share here back. And as a matter of fact, what you were saying, Gloria, is exactly, you know, perhaps something similar to what happened to Scott. You know, he was tied to a chair. Over here we see a medium in a, like in a, enclosed in a small room, so he cannot leave. But over here showing, you know, that the spirits, they take the ectoplasm out of the medium. They help that ectoplasm to be, you know, liberated, if you will. In the room, sometimes we see, sometimes we do not see. I remember I mentioned to you guys that when we were in Florida, I saw this big device in the room the night before, because the spirits, they were kind of preparing the ambience for us to be there. So in the rooms, that will be some devices that they use just to clean and harmonize, to keep the ambience of the place of the room, because there will be a materialization. And in this case, those drawings, they are explaining what's going on, because this spirit will perform a surgery on someone else. So, and again, this is all because there is this basic element, or universal basic element, and that is, you know, through different combination, that will be the creation of the universal cosmic fluid. And from that point and on, we see the creation of all the things that we see. So last time we were talking about
Anna, just one thing. I remember that for this kind of materializations to happen, the spirits need a very strong reason to do that. So the cure, helping sick people and making them healthy again, and this is a very strong reason why they do that kind of thing. They don't do that just to help our faith. Helping our faith is like a bonus, you know, but they have to have very strong reasons to do that for people who deserve it and need it. And then sometimes science benefits from it, but it's not the main. Dr. Frutuoso says that a lot. That's not the main reason that they do it. They do it to help people.
That's true. So remember, when in Gloria's experience, she said that the first thing that they did was this voice box, and then a girl came to talk to the mother, So it is a healing process, right? So it is helping, it is about helping people. So that's the top priority, and then everything else will follow. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Lida. And so am I sharing? Yes. So last time the question was, therefore, are there two general elements of the universe, matter and spirit, right? So we just saw the schematic, then the answer was yes. And God, the creator of all things, is above them. These three elements are the principle of all that exists, the universal Trinity. However, the universal fluid must be added to the material elements. It acts as intermediary between spirit and matter, as the body is too crude for the spirit to be able to act directly on it. Although this fluid may be classified as part of the material element from another perspective, it is distinguished by certain special properties. If it were simply classified as matter, that there would be no reason why the spirit could not also be classified as matter. It is something placed between the spirit and matter. It is fluid just as matter is material, and through countless combinations under the action of the spirit, it can produce an infinite variety of things which you only know a very small portion. Without this universal cosmic fluid, primitive or elementary fluid, the agent employed by the spirit matter would permanently remain divided and would never acquire the properties given to it by gravity. So the next question is this fluid what we call electricity? So remember that back in the days, in the 1900s or 1800s, because they didn't know much about the science back then, didn't know much, everything that they didn't know was named or called fluid. A word used like we use the word thing today for anything that we do not know. If we do not know how to name it, today we say thing, we call it thing. So back in the days, it is kind of the same relation. So electricity, they were aware, but it was still new, and they truly believed that electricity was a fluid, because they didn't know exactly how was, electricity. So that's why they were questioning, they were asking, is this fluid what we call electricity? And then the answer was very nice, because they said, we have said that this is open to countless blends or arrangements. What you call electricity fluid, magnetic fluid, and so on, are modifications of the universal fluid, which is only matter of a more perfect and subtle nature. It may be regarded as being independent. So
nowadays we know that even dark matter in the universe is matter. So we only see a part of the matter. So we only know 95%, we only know 5% of the universe. So there is 95% of the universe that we don't see.
We don't see.
Yeah.
Exactly, precisely. So oh, I thought I had a slide for that, but I think I will continue because what you mentioned, there is something that I would like to go back to that point later. Because in the next question they said, since the spirit something, would it be more accurate and less confusing to call these two general elements inert matter and intelligent matter? So, any comments or?
I think
Anna.
that there is a part of the matter that can connect to spirits and to intelligent principle, smart principle, and there is another part that is just plain matter, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah, agree. Maria, you want to say something?
Yes, today we already know what Emmanuel, Chico Xavier's spiritual guide, calls thought form, forma pensamento, thought form.
Thought forms.
Yes, thought form, which is the form of a continuous thought that the person maintain and which is a mental matter. I think that we are in the beginning of the time that we need to study the mental matter because when these two universe touch which one, the spiritual and the matter. If
And
we
these two
think
universes
about
touch each other?
yes, because it's a new knowledge, a new concept about matter and about spiritual. And when you think about mental matter, you are working in the mediumistic meetings all time with mental matter. When the medium comes to see what the spirit is thinking about, they are giving the perception of his mental matter.
Got it. Yes. So Maria is bringing a very good point. So whatever we think, remember, the spirit is constantly manipulating the universal cosmic fluid. We do not know how we do this. It's like breathing. You may not even know how that process works, but you do it regardless. You have the capability, you have the ability to do it. So we incarnated people, we also do this. We also manipulate the universal cosmic fluid. We also manipulate this matter, subtle matter, with our thoughts. So what she's saying is, whatever we think, we are constantly creating forms, shapes. And that's what the spirits, that's exactly what they are able to see. So that's how they know what we are thinking. Because whatever we think, especially if you have a continuous, constant, and persistent idea. You know, those people kind of having a persist, like for example, suicidal. They keep that idea, and that idea is constantly there, you know, is never leaving their mind. So that type of vibration will create certain shapes using the universal cosmic fluid. We do not know how we do this, but we do have the ability to use our thoughts and manipulate this matter and create those shapes. So that's exactly what the spirits can see. And if you have good thoughts, it's going to be something pretty. I will bring, as a matter of fact, I am aware of a book that actually brings pictures of what the mediums are able to see because the mediums can see those shape forms, those, created by thoughts. So they created this book showing pictures, actually drawings of how the thought, or what shape will the thought of love will create, or the thought of happiness, what kind of shape or form will create, the thought of angry, and it's very interesting. So I will, next time I will try to get those pictures and show to you what those shapes look like, so we have an idea, what the spirits can see and how they see, and know what we are thinking based on those thoughts. It's not that they can come in and open our mind and see it, but they can see those shapes. So the question is, since the spirit itself is something, would it be more accurate and less confusing to call these two general elements, inert matter and intelligent matter? The answer is, I love this. Words, a little importance to us.
My God.
You must formulate your expressions so that you may understand one another. Your disputes almost always arise from the lack of a common agreement over the use of words, because your language is incapable of describing that which transcends your senses. So again, talking about faith. so that's the answer to the question. And then there is a comment talking about that answer. That comment is from Allan Kardec. So he's saying, one obvious fact governs all our hypotheses. Matter in and of itself is not intelligent. Therefore, we see an intelligent principle independent of matter. The origin is in connection of these two elements are unknown to us. As to whether they have a common source or the necessary points of contact, whether intelligence has an independent existence or is only a property or an effect, or even whether it is an emanation of the divinity, we have no answers for these questions. They appear to be distinct to us, and we therefore consider them to be crucial elements of the universe. So that's why he came along with that schematic, the basic element and or the universal basic element and the smart element. We see a supreme intelligence above all this that governs all things and is distinguished from them by essential attributes. This supreme intelligence is what we call God. Maria, please.
Anna, really, I have a question, because I have many times that I studied this book, and I'm trying to understood or to give
Understand.
an example. What we can understand by an intelligent principle independent of matter. I don't remember what I can tell by example for this condition, because intelligent principle independent of matter maybe it will be the espírito puro, pure spirit. I
No,
don't.
no, I think he's simply talking about let's go back here. He's just talking about this, So we have the smart element that was created independent from the material basic element.
Yes, he is created, but he needs the matter to grow up. All right.
Yes, exactly. But I think
To
at that,
understood the situation that the principal
got it. Mhm.
doesn't need the matter.
Yes. So I believe when he's talking over here, he's just talking about the moment of creation.
Okay. Okay. All right.
And but now you gave me another
Moment.
perspective. Now you gave me
Okay.
another perspective. It might be as well when
Yes.
we become pure spirit, and then we no longer need the man. Yeah,
Okay. Thank you.
yeah. Thank you. But yes, Claudia.
What you just said is when we become pure spirit, but the perispirit came on the matter side,
Mm-hmm.
and the perispirit and the spirit join. So I'm visualizing the diagram. So we're not completely 100% pure spirit. We're also spirit mixed with perispirit on the other side in the afterlife, right?
Say that again.
Okay. The perispirit came down on the matter side.
The pure spirit came down
On the side,
on this.
on the
Okay,
matter
so
side.
back to the
Diagram. Yes.
Let's go back here. Let me go back to this one, actually.
Yes.
So
Okay. It came down originally as a material part of the material element.
it came
And
down.
then joined with the spirit. So when we're not pure spirit, we're spirit and perispirit. Even after we die, right?
We are exactly
In
Yes.
our
Okay.
level,
So-
in our level
in
of
our level.
evolution,
Yes.
we still need the perispirit, but Maria is talking about higher level spirits like Jesus and other spirits that they don't need the body
They don't
in their
need
day-by-day lives, in their normal lives. They don't need their body. They just use their body when they come here to earth. They used to say that Jesus took like 800 years to come down to earth, to be
To adjust to this level of
yeah, to
vibration
be
and regain a human shaped form.
yeah, because
Because
he had to get acquainted or reacquainted to heavy matter,
he was so high in his step of evolution, he didn't even have or he doesn't even have a human body shape anymore. It is just light. So, but yeah, so for this again, this diagram is really about us. But once we become pure spirit, then there is no need for matter, except when you are in the process of creation or doing anything, acting on matter, right? So I love this topic because it brings us questions and it makes us think about, and the more we read, the more questions we have, and that's how we learn, forcing us to think. I like that. Okay, so, and then I feel like I'm missing a slide here. So now we are still in the chapter 2, but now we are no longer talking about spirits and matter, but property of matter. So he's asking, is ponderability an essential attribute of matter? Because we can measure, we can do, we can monitor, analyze, And the question is, the answer is yes, for matter as you understand it, but not matter that it is considered the universal fluid. So we cannot weight the universal fluid. There's no weight. The ethereal and subtle matter forming this fluid cannot be measured by you, and yet it is the source of your matter that can be weighed. And then there is a comment, and this comment is from Kardec. He says, gravity, it is relative property. Beyond the realm of gravitational pull between planets and stars, there is no such a thing as weight, just as there is neither up nor down. Isn't that amazing? I love this. I love those ideas. So he continues, is matter composed of one or several elements? So, and at this point, it has to be several, right? So it has to be a combination of several things. And then he says, one single primordial element. The bodies that you see are simple, you see as simple, are not truly elements, but transformations of the primordial matter.
Anna, I believe that we can understand this explanation if we think about células tronco. How I can say it in English? Células tronco.
The table of elements.
No, she's talking about those cells that you transplant from one person to another. There is a medical terminology she's mentioning, and I do not know. Yes, Carol.
Stem cells?
Stem cells.
Stem cells, exactly. Yeah, I knew I heard the name, but I could not remember. Yes, so she's talking about stem cells.
Yes, like in a material that have inside it all the things that the matter have. It's like that.
Mm-hmm.
The primordial matter.
Yes.
Like
yes.
a cellulose tronco.
Yes, it is like, yeah. Yeah, so once you have the stem cells, you can build upon those stem cells. So it is a good association with this universal basic element or primordial matter. So the next question then, can the same elementary matter undergo all possible changes and acquire all properties? What do we think? Comments, or can the same elementary matter undergo all possible changes?
If
And
it's only one, I think yes.
Only one?
Because in the last question, they said it's only one.
It's only one.
So
Yeah, Gloria, what do you think?
You're mute, Gloria.
No, that's what I was referring back to the last slide, the last question. It's one primordial matter.
Primordial? Yes, exactly. So, and it is the fact that it is implied in saying that everything is in everything. So that's the question, the answer to the question number 33. And now he mentioned this Kardec is making this comment over here, and I think it's very nice. So Can you please read? You have a better pronunciation than mine, Gloria.
Oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, carbon, and all the other masses that we see as elements, variations of the one primordial substance, as we have found it impossible to arrive at this elemental matter other than as an intellectual deduction, they appear to be elementary. We may therefore continue to regard them as such for now. This theory appears to support the opinion of those who acknowledge only two essential properties in matter, force and movement, and who regard all other properties of matter as purely secondary effects, varying according to the intensity of force and direction of movement. This opinion is exact. We must also add according to molecular arrangement, for instance, in an opaque body that may be transparent and vice versa.
Guys, do you see the importance of this very last sentence? So in here, remember this is back in the 1800s. So it is like the very beginning, he's kind of grasping the idea of the quantum physics when we say that, you know, dark energy or dark matter, they appear and disappear. Can be transparent, opaque, you know? So how the spirits can manipulate the matter? And through these variations and combinations. So how the spirit can manipulate a fluid that we cannot see. Like I'm looking at you guys, I cannot see that fluid coming. But the spirits, they are able to manipulate this fluid and make this fluid to be seen by many other folks in the room. It is amazing. So, and now we're talking about universal space. And the question is, universal space, infinite or limited?
I think it's infinite.
It's hard to imagine something like this, but yeah, I agree, you know. And the question is, yeah, infinite. Assume for a moment that there are boundaries. What would be beyond them? This perplexes your reason, which tells you that it cannot be otherwise. The same is true with regard to infinity in all things. The idea of infinity cannot be grasped in your narrow world. Yeah. But it is true. Yeah. So.
And it's an expansion, right? The
It
universe.
is an expansion. So that's
crazy.
That's the idea of horizon. You get to the horizon and there's another one right in front of you. So is universal space okay, so what? Why? Okay, so that's the comment from Kardec. He's saying, if we imagine a limit to space, no matter how far away this limit may be, reason dictates that there must always be something beyond it until we arrive at the idea of infinity, because this something, even if only an absolute void, would still be space. So that's Allan Kardec's comment in, let's see, 109. Okay, so this is going to be the last one. So does an absolute void exist anywhere in the universe?
I don't think so.
No. Yeah, and the spirits, they have said that in every single corner of this universe, it is filled up with something. So that's exactly the question. So no, what appears to be a void to you is occupied by matter that your senses and instruments are incapable of detecting. And there you go, what Leda was talking about, you know. So today we call dark energy dark matter just because we have no other words. It's like we are back in the 1800s when they were calling electricity fluid. They're saying that electricity was a fluid, and now we have no better means to call these new, findings. We call them dark energy because it is dark, not because of the color, but because our instrumentation, with our technology, we cannot sense, we cannot monitor, we cannot measure, we cannot weigh. That's how we call dark, because it's like dark to us, we cannot see it. But the universe, they do this using calculations. There's no way we can measure, because it is dark to our instrumentation is blind to all of this, but by using calculations, it makes all the sense. And they did that using several different angles. So it was not one person, one scientist doing calculations, or, Einstein in his room doing, no. They realized that through different meanings, and they all converge to the same idea. So 68.3% of the universe is made of the dark energy. And then the dark matter is the 26.8%. And all that we know, all that we can see is a tiny little bit, 5%. That's how the whole universe distribution is. So and here's the thing, the dark energy, the name is done as such. So it is the element that today they think is kind of forcing the expansion that Leda was talking about, trends to drive the universe apart. And there is no interaction with normal matter. So how, if there is no interaction with normal matter, what exactly the dark energy is influenced? It is where the impact of the dark energy is if it's not acting on the normal matter. And the dark matter actually pulls the universe together. So there is a back and forth. It is expansion, yeah, but there is a back and forth movement, if you will. But evidently, expansion is the prevailing movement because there is more dark energy than dark matter. And the dark matter can actually interact with normal matter. Thus, we see the gravitational lensing. So, Carol, you have your...
So I never thought that normal could be defined. What is normal? How, when they talk about normal matter?
Oh, what the normal matter is what
Yeah,
we can measure, is what we can actually touch and see, and the matter that how we know, right? So that's what it is. And remember, they put a very nice note over here saying, okay, so dark matter, guys, it is not antimatter, it is not black holes. So here we are trying to explain how the universe works. When in reality, 95% of it, we have no idea how it works. We have no idea. We just became aware of their existence. It's like back in the medieval times, and we were looking at the moon and believing that the whole creation was confined or limited to our planet and the moon, and perhaps the other planets in the solar system. And then we became aware of the new galaxies, and now we became aware of this new, completely new stuff that we have no idea how those stuff impact to us, but it does have an effect in our lives somehow. And more interesting, everything that they say here, it seems like from the spiritual standpoint, they can use these elements as they create shapes and forms and, you know, realities and et cetera, et cetera. So we are still a long way to go in this lifetime, in this learning process, right? So, guys, oh my goodness, it's 4:25 over here in Freeport, not Freeport, I'm not working today, Saturday, in Houston. And I hope you guys stay safe. I hope, Gloria, you are back to Louisiana. I hope, you know, there is a flooding watch in the looming in the horizon. I hope you guys will be safe.
And we hope you have a wonderful visit with your mother next week.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
You be safe. Safe
Yeah.
trip, for sure.
Yeah. Thank you, ladies. And we'll
Happy
keep in touch.
Mother's Day to all of you.
Thank you.
Yes,
Same to everybody
happy
else. Love you.
Mother's
Love
Day
you guys.
for all of you.
Bye, guys. See you.
See ya.
Bye.